Hey guys, what is up? On Joe back here. No mic today. Unless Mike, I was about to say you have like the same-ish hairstyle as Mike. So Mike got glasses. This is Connor. You might remember him if you are the like one or two individuals that watch our podcast. He was on one of the first ones. Mac Miller Circles album review, and we're here today to talk about the show Invincible. I've been meaning to do this, but I'm too lazy to upload half our videos. So obviously, with that in context, I'm too lazy to friggin' send this guy a text and say, "Hey, let's do a podcast." So 3 episodes of season 2 are out. We're gonna mainly be discussing three, but obviously with that, it's a consecutive series where one episode depends on the last. So kind of gonna catch everything up to date in terms of all of season 2 and even a little bit of season 1. Um, I feel like I had something else. I don't know. I,
Can't
I
think of
had
it.
something else in order to that I was gonna say, but I don't think if it was important, I wouldn't have forgot it. So, Connor, how are you this fine day?
I'm doing pretty good, you know. It's a
Yes, sir.
cold little Wednesday.
It is a cold little Wednesday. So correct me if I'm wrong. You're the one who introduced me to this show, right?
Maybe. Actually, maybe. I think so.
Who introduced you
But
to
I could be
this?
wrong.
Was it Jake? Did Jake introduce you to this show?
No, my friend Sam introduced me when we were in college, and I was like, he showed me it. I was like, what? This is crazy. I think I do remember because I told you to watch the first episode, and then I remember you were like, I thought it was gonna be like some Disney shit.
Yeah, no, because I remember I was trying to figure out if Jake showed us the boys or Invincible, but I think he showed us the boys.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you showed me Invincible, and well, enough stalling. Let's get underway. You are the guest. Whatever topic you want to cover first so far this season or last episode, I'm here for it. So let's
Okay,
hear
you
it.
ready? Here's my first question I have for you.
All
Do
right.
you think the season has been good so far?
I so I just it's I don't think it's been a bad season. I don't think been a bad season, but I want to there's definitely a couple things I'm gonna tackle that I there's the highs aren't as high and the lows are lower than last season. But overall, I mean, first season was so friggin' good. So like it's
Yeah,
hard to keep up with. I personally still like the first season better. I think there's no getting around that giant plot twist at the end of episode 1. Because like
yeah,
you don't know what to expect going in. I always expect a big ass plot twist now. You know, it's like
yeah, yeah.
they're gonna pull some crazy shit. And like you said, I thought it was some like Disney anime. Like, yeah, they didn't even show any blood until the Omni Man thing. And now
Yeah.
it's like I don't know what to expect, but I know to expect something. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like it'll never get that Christmas magic of holy shit back
yeah,
again.
yeah.
But overall, I'm not disappointed. That's all to say. I don't like it as much as season 1, but I'm very excited to watch the new episode when it comes out on every Friday.
Yeah. I really
I
like
what do
I
you
it's
I was gonna
definitely
say in comparison to season 1, what about you?
yeah. I think it's definitely setting up a pretty crazy season. Just like with the whole
Yeah.
multiverse thing and everything now that they're introducing,
Mm,
it can be nuts.
yeah. Well, have they tackled the multiverse since episode 1 though? That was one of okay, so let's really briefly cover a few questions I have from episode 1 where so they tackle the multiverse and then they don't really do anything with it. They make it seem like they're doing something with it when that alien guy was in disguise as was it Mark? I forget already who he was disguised as. Remember they were fighting and
Yeah,
then
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I
yeah,
know
so
what you
I
mean
forget if
though.
he was disguised as someone oh was it one of the it was one of the dead guys, one of the dead superheroes. He was disguised as, and it was like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not part of the multiverse. But the first episode was all about the multiverse with the Mahler twins. And what I was gonna say is there's two things we haven't seen since the first episode: a multiverse tease or the Mahler twins,
Yeah, yeah.
which is really like they really set up the Mahler twins to be more interesting this season than last season. I thought they were very Maybe
Yeah.
it's because it's the guy who voices Principal Lewis, but I
Yeah.
really like them. I
Well,
really
that's the
like
thing.
the
There's
Mauler.
only one Mauler twin left, too.
I th- I thought one of the OGs lived, and then one of the other dimension ones lived. Am I wrong on that? Or
No, one
is
of the
only one left?
okay, so the guy in the chair lived. The guy, like the multiverse
Right.
guy. I forget his name off the top of my head. But
Yeah.
they're definitely setting him up because like now he has all the knowledge of the other guys. So he's definitely like the big bad of the season. Because personally, I don't think they're gonna take out Omni Man yet. There's no way. There's no way in
hmm
second season they take out Omni
Yeah.
Man. So I think this dude's the big bad. But
Mm.
what I think is interesting is just like this idea that in almost every other universe, Omni Man
Mm.
got Mark to side with him. And this is the one that didn't go that way. So I think that's
Right.
really interesting.
Yeah. Was it, I really wish we did have a podcast in the first couple of weeks because for some reason I like had like a feeling. I'm like, I don't think they're gonna have Omni Man come right back. Like
Yeah.
he's gone off into space. Like and not necessarily like come back to Earth, because like if he just came back to Earth right away, that'd be some like, bullshit. But
Yeah, yeah.
like I was like I don't think we're gonna like see him. Now that the beginning of season two, that was great. Like the first like 5 minutes where it was like him
Yeah.
and like Invincible fucking shit up. Like I was like, all right, so there's probably some like I don't think that's either the real Invincible or he's not in his right state of mind. Like Invincible would never. So I don't think he's ever gonna turn on. I think now that like we have a little more context in season one, that's multiverse stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is it another universe's Invincible though that comes over? Or is that in another universe? Because who knows? Because Robot dies in it. Rex
Yep.
seemingly is dead. Like that's what Rex thought. Blah blah blah. Doesn't he kill? No, he spares Adam Eve. But yeah, no, like
Well, he
there's
paralyzes Adam.
yeah. But like he lets her live. But it's yeah, I don't think that that's gonna end up being. I don't think Invincible is the kind of show that's gonna show you what literally happens later in the season.
Yeah, yeah.
So while I don't like Rex. I kind of hate his character. So when I say I'm concerned for Rex, I mean like I have some questions about him making it to the end.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of that scenario, I don't think, because I think what they're gonna do, I have a feeling like what they're gonna do is kill off Rex or seemingly do it. They can do whatever the hell they want. They make it seem like some guy's
Yeah.
dead. They have his skull crushed and he comes back decapitated. Look at what was his name? What's his name? The only guy who's left, the only Avenger who's left.
Wait, what are we talking about? Like
The OG like guys, um, the Guardians of the Globe, the OG guy, the guy that's
the guy with
like
that, isn't it Black Samson? Are you talking about the
I know no
oh, the
not that
immortal? You're the
the
immortal. The
him
immortal.
yeah
There
no
we
they
go.
literally decapitated
Yeah,
fuckhead and
Black Samson was him.
he's chilling but yeah Black Samson's King Ezekiel,
Is it really? It's the same voice actor? That's
which is
crazy.
great, yeah, but anyways, yeah, so I think they're gonna give the illusion that Rex is dead. They could actually kill him off just to be like, yeah, what you saw at the beginning of the season is kind of treading in that direction now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's gonna happen, and then they're gonna pull the rug and pull some like switch move on us. So that's what I think's gonna happen. I can almost say with a guarantee that not as all as it seems in that intro scene, but that's how I think they're gonna go about it in terms of Rex. That's a shot in the dark, but
Yeah, yeah.
um, I think it's a good educated guess.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I really
Um,
want to ask your opinion on, because I'm actually curious, and I don't know where this is going plot wise, but what's up with Duplicate and the Immortal?
all right, so I have a note here. I don't give a shit about Rex's relationship with Duplicate. That's what I
No,
wrote
I
here.
don't. No, I don't either. I
I
think it's
don't I think it's such an unnecessary like love triangle thing that they're just trying kind of like, damn, we got to have like a love triangle in here.
Mhm.
But like Duplicate is like one of the, if not the most expendable character on the show. Like she really doesn't add anything. Her the Ant-Man girl there, I think she may have like 5 lines in the whole damn thing.
Mhm.
Like I forgot she even existed when I rewatched the show. I was like, does this girl die or does she just do nothing? She just does nothing. But
A
yeah,
lot
no,
of the Guardians of the new Guardians of the Globe don't really do much.
Yeah, no, it's really just like Rex and Robot and a Monster Girl. And let's also
Yeah, yeah.
address while we're talking about relationships with the new Guardians, let's talk about that weird robot shit. I'm not a That's weird to me. Like this robot, how old is this robot? I don't care how like that monster girl is older than she looks. I don't care like if she's aging bad. It still just looks weird to me. And then
Yeah,
robot
I
like
don't.
pulls all the stops to get into a little kid's body, and the little kid's body is Rex. Like what?
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
saying
not really. I'm kind of getting. I'm kind of getting a little like weirded out by that whole thing, and it's
yeah,
like it. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't like
I'm
it.
not
I'm not
saying
big.
like what like that's crazy. That's so cool. I'm saying what as in like why would you do this? This is so stupid. I'm
Yeah,
really, really not a big robot. I think robot is one of the most missed potentials they have on the show because like the concept of robot as being this like high intelligent computer that can also fight and be like the general to their battles is such like a good concept. Are you there? Oh, okay. You were frozen for a sec.
yeah. No, you were frozen too. I didn't hear anything.
Oh, it says my internet connection's unstable. Nice. But let's pretend that
R.I.P.
didn't happen. Let me re-explain.
Hmm.
I feel like the idea with robot is to be like this all-knowing like CPU general that can like, control the fight while also like being part of the fight himself, which is, in my opinion, like great. Like I love that idea. But then they add too much human to robot. And it's not that they can't add human. It's not that I don't want them to add human to his character. It's that they just do it in the worst way. They just make
Hmm.
it so weird. Oh,
I like. I like the concept that like the whole time it makes sense that he feels fear now. Like I think that makes sense
yeah,
because
like
now
that's
he's in a.
cool. That's cool.
That's a really good way to do it. But in
But
terms of like, wait, you can't get into a movie. Like he's supposed to be like a genius. You know what I mean? And it's weird that he's like that. Like every like he doesn't. I get like that he hasn't eaten or something. Like he's
mm,
not used to eating burgers. There's like that one scene where they go to the burger place, but it's not like
yeah.
he doesn't know what a burger is. It's not like it's like some foreign concept to him. You know what I mean?
On
Like
He's supposed to be like and the thing is, whenever I see him, it's just unsettling because it's little Rex, and Rex has now kind of gotten used to that, and it's like he wouldn't. It's
no,
so weird. Like I just want to get that out. I hate that part of the show.
no, I'm not
Um,
crazy about it.
I'll tell you what, and I don't know how strongly you feel about this, but if you had to guess, what would you say is my favorite part of the season so far? I don't think you'd guess it in like 10 tries. I'll give you one though. I'll give you one guess. What is my favorite part of the season?
Your favorite part of the season,
So not like favorite scene, but like just kind of favorite like thing that's happening.
like plot or whatever, it's kind of
Yeah,
happening.
kind of like that.
Would it be the way like Mark's reacting to Omni Man leaving? Because
One step
I
over.
think it's
Wha-
actually very real how he's reacting to it.
One step away. One step away. Take a step. Take a step.
Or how Debbie is. Yeah,
Dude,
Debbie's
it's
Debbie's
so
whole
good.
story is
It's so
great.
good what they're doing with her.
Yeah, I
Dude,
think both
like
of them like I'm so glad that they didn't just like skip a year and they're over it, you know what I mean, or something like that. Like that was like mind shattering. So like to have them actually be like feeling it, and it's like you can tell, and like her
Mhm.
breaking like that, like even like the little things that bother her, like she's breaking the
Yep.
creaky door. It's so good. It's so
It's
well
smart. It's genius. And then I felt so bad for her when she went out on the date with the guy who was dating one of the guardians of the. I was
done.
like, oh, that guy, dude. Like, she did not have any part in that.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
like, you should have known. Like, dude, the hell? I was so mad at
I
that
know, but
guy.
you can
I think he
understand
was.
his anger too, though. It's
I mean,
horrible.
I think he was completely out of line blaming her, but like at the same time, I didn't like the setup, but I liked what it caused. I liked the salute. Like, I thought it would have been more interesting had like they gone on like a date. Like if they like kind of started getting together, then after a while she ended up telling him, and that's when he gets pissed at her. I didn't think he had any right to get pissed at her there, but I like what they did where it was like she has to confront one of the people that Omni-Man like killed their loved one,
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
didn't even know it. Thought that was great.
All right, I
Uh,
I have a really big question.
mm,
I want to because I think this is an underrated question of the show right now. Because a lot of the focus is on
I think
Debbie
I
and
know what you're about to
Omni
ask
Man
me.
and Mark.
I think I
Huh?
know. I think I know what you're about to ask me. What are
How
you about
the
to ask
fuck
me?
is Donald alive?
So that raises the question, does Cecil know about the multiverse?
You see, that's a
Or
really good.
and here's the other thing. Donald is such like a generic like NPC kind
Yeah,
of guy, where it's like they easily could just be like cloning these guys like Elmer from Brandon Rogers, right? Like I
yeah.
that's kind of how I see Donald as like there could be a lot of him. Like they're just kind of cloning this guy. That's
What
what
I
I think
think,
personally.
what I think is messing me up the most, right, about this whole thing
Mm,
is like the scene where Debbie calls out Donald and is like, Donald, right? Like, and later
yeah.
on, he's like, why did she react to me so weird? He doesn't remember. Like he doesn't
Yep.
know that he died, right? So that's clear. That's obvious, right? But my thing is, and obviously Cecil's playing along and acting like, oh, nothing's wrong. You did like she was just upset or something. What I
Mm,
don't get is what is the reason? Because you'd think like if it was something like, oh, Donald regenerates or some shit like that, Donald would just
he does.
know what happened.
Yeah.
So it's got to be like a secret. It's got to be a thing where like
Mm.
Cecil, like they reclone him, but at the same time he remembers everything that happened with Omni Man. Like he remembers Omni Man flying away and shit. So I
True.
don't.
Yeah. So maybe Maybe I think it's Cecil. I think Cecil has a lot to do with it. All
Yeah.
the technology at his hands. He could also choose to like what parts of Donald's memory to include, not include. The question is, how did he get the memory out of a? It's not like he like found Donald's corpse and retracted his brain. Like, dude exploded.
Yeah.
Like, but what was I gonna? Shit.
But that's the other
Oh,
thing
dude.
too. Like, why is Donald so important, right? Because like they could have just got
Yeah.
another sucker, right? So there's
Hmm.
something to Donald. There's a reason why Donald's important. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
There's like something that he does that no one else can do.
It could be like there could be just like a backbone to like what Donald does for the organization that like no one else can do. Like in terms of like just kind of keeping it underground and stuff. But you know what I was gonna say? What if like the writers like wrote the first like two episodes and then one of them was like, wait, shit, we killed this guy. Like, oh no, we gotta come up with something.
It's funny now because like they've been doing this for all three episodes. They have a little section where Donald shows up and they're like, what the fuck? But like
Yeah.
they haven't done anything to explain it at all.
Nope. They're holding off on it. It's a lot of it's a lot of build. Like
Yeah.
for example, episode 3, Mark did like virtually nothing until the last 5 minutes. I thought
Mhm.
every scene with Mark was just maybe not wasted space. Let me take a step back. Kind of just like integrating him into normalcy of a life. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you could just like write you could skip all of Mark's scenes and just write Mark's having fun at college, and you're caught up with like what Mark's doing, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
they there's a lot of filler and there's a lot of building, and I feel like that's gonna benefit the season in the long run because
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff we're sitting on, like what's going on with the Mahler twins, Donald, the multiverse, obviously Omni Man,
Yeah.
um, and then there's a lot of stuff that's going on that we do care about more emotionally than whatchamacallit than action like Debbie. But I will bring to your mind, which I just realized this, or not realized, but just remembered this. Donald's not the only one who's come back from the dead this season, inexplicably. What about Sizemore?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
They threw him into a pit of lava.
That's right.
They're
Well, he was
but
saying like, "Oh, I was down with the lava creatures, and I brought them
oh
back as
right. Okay,
henchmen."
so he
But yeah,
he
that doesn't
remembers
really
that.
make sense. How he...
Okay, so yeah. So he and Donald aren't in a so I don't think that he and Donald are doing the same thing because Donald didn't remember dying. Sizemore remembered dying. Um, but I have a I have a question. And this is gonna kind of rock your world. You're gonna be like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Is the show getting too predictable? Because I'll tell you what, I kind of knew that Omni. I know I sound like LeBron James saying that Kobe was gonna put up 80, but I kind of knew that Omni Man was gonna be the leader of that galaxy. Like as soon as like the
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
was, as soon as the guy was like, yeah, I was like, it's Omni Man. I'm like,
No, you
holy
could
shit.
tell it
I mean,
was
I was still
Omni
like,
Man
holy
once he
shit, but
got
I
off
knew
the
before
ship.
they showed his face.
Yeah,
So
once he got off the ship, it was definitely Omni.
yeah, like, so I don't think like it's like too predictable where like I know where the season's gonna go, but it's to the point where I feel like I know what's coming within 5 minutes of it coming, where they
Yeah,
want it to be like a kind of thing. Because
yeah,
last season, remember, if you remember I think it was the fifth episode when he was trying to help out the black guy there get into the suite. I forget his name. He's like one of the villains that turns into like the Rock. Um Mark went up there. Mark seemingly almost died. The Black Samoa or whatever, he did die, and Monster Girl died. It was like, what the hell? Whereas, like, I did not see that coming. They all got their shit rocked. Whereas this season has kind of been like, they're like, oh, something's beyond that door, and I'm over here like, I bet I know what it is. So, and I don't think it's a necessarily a horrible thing for the show, but I definitely do miss that, like, being like this 1 minute and being like the next minute, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. That I mean, it's
Um,
it's weird though because at the same time, like the other thing, like because it still surprises me though. Because for example, like in episode 3, do you notice how Battle Beast was just sitting at like the table with all the other guys?
which one's Battle Beast?
Battle Beast is the lion-headed dude that hit the heck out of Mark,
Oh
like with the big
yeah,
hammer. He's sitting at the
that dude's
table with
sick.
the guys. He's sitting at the table when Alan like gives this whole pitch saying that Mark would be a good guy to like
All
beat the
right.
Viltrumites. So
Yep,
I
yep,
thought
you're
it was
right.
like clear that it was going to be Battle Beast that was like the betrayer or whatever, like the rat. But then it
Mhm.
was literally like the guy, like it was literally the guy who
Yeah.
told him there was a rat. So it's like, what?
Why did you tell him there's a rat
Why
if
would you
you're the
tell
rat?
him there's a rat if you're the rat? You fucking idiot.
That'll make him think I'm not the rat. But yeah, let's talk really quick about Alan the Alien. That was one of definitely the bigger takeaways from this episode. And like I said, this show does whatever the hell they want with killing off characters, bringing them back, blah blah blah. But like they really are making it seem like Alan's gone, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it does much for the show in killing him off more than just shock value. Because although, like, he was a really nice guy and it sucks to see him go, I don't think he falls into anyone's like top five characters or anything, I think they were
No.
just kind of like, hey, like, see this guy, like, we're gonna give him a bigger role. Then it kind of like The Walking Dead, the way they would do that, they would like give some guy lines and then all of a sudden they're dead meat. I feel like they just wanted to do that for shock value. They needed to kill someone off.
All right.
I'll be honest. All the shit I've said about like, oh, I saw Omni Man reveal coming. All that I did not see that coming. And all the
Yeah.
sad music. It was pretty emotional. I'll be honest with the wife watching. That was
Yeah. Yeah.
horrible.
Here's my thing with Alan. This is why I think Alan's really important. Is because Alan was the only one who knew where Mark was, and he was the only one who was like, "Yeah, Mark should be in the group. Like he should be
Hmm.
helping us because we need right." But it also established that there were people besides Earth that were actually working against the Viltrumites, but
Right.
the Viltrumites had rats in that group. So
Mhm.
basically, in terms of like help against the Viltrumites, it's fuck all now because now anybody that wanted Mark, they've literally lost their one guy that knew where he was.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
fair.
think Alan was like the guy that would have. I think if Alan was still around, right, I
Mhm.
think it would have been harder to explain like, oh, why aren't more people helping Mark against the people? So I think they killed him off because they're trying to show that Mark's on his own. You know what I mean? Basically,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
it was fucked up. That was probably the most fucked up death in any of the episodes, honestly, because
I
it
think
was
by far
like they punched his fucking eye out, dude. Like what the fuck?
in front of his wife, in
That
front of
was
his wife,
crazy.
dude.
Oh, it was
But
horrible.
oh yeah, Alan, that definitely sucked. I'm interested to see what role those guys play in the next couple. I feel like they're gonna do the Omni Man and kind of disappear for a few episodes. Um,
Yeah,
but I feel like the next couple episodes are gonna focus obviously a lot on Omni Man and maybe I'm predicting that maybe like Adam Eve. I'll be honest, her character has like like cool build, but like she just does nothing. Like not nothing for me. It's like she's been all about like this like I'm gonna help people kind of thing for a while now. Like I get if that was like kind of like a character arc and like that middle end of season one, right? But then like in the season one finale, like she should have like there should have been like a moment where she realized she needs to fight, like because there's super
yeah,
villains that are doing shit. I feel like they're like just kind of stretching this like eco-friendly, I'm gonna help the little guy story arc for her. And
yeah,
it's I kind of want her to do more because she has so much more interest as a character. So I think what they're gonna do with her now is they introduced a lot of this Lizard League stuff. Obviously, she well, not obviously. So let's cover this. We have not seen Adam Eve, either of us. I talked to Connor about
yeah,
it. But apparently Lizard League makes a big role in that show or
yeah,
special or whatever it is. I think what's going to happen is the Guardians of the Globe are going to be tasked with dealing with the Lizard League now that like they have a new king or whatever. They're powerful and they're not going to be able to put together what they need to beat them. And um, Adam Eve's going to have to help them
yeah,
um, because she has dealt with the Lizard League before. And I think that's the perfect direction for them to go with her. I think she's one of the very few characters that this show has ever fumbled. Like the show's so good, but
yeah,
they're kind of fumbling with her because she has the potential to do so much more. And I'll say this really quick because I'm sure you have a lot to say about Adam Eve. Is I feel like they're fumbling the dad a bit. At first, I like the dad, right? Where it was like I understand where this guy's coming from. Like he's not in the right, but like that's his little girl. This
yeah.
season, they're just kind of making him out to be like an unrelatable douchebag, like
Yeah, they're making him too like Disney villain. You know what I mean? Like he's like
yeah, yeah.
too one
Like
sided.
last season I didn't like him just because like that's the intent, but like I didn't mind him as a character. I didn't mind his involvement in the show. But
Yeah.
this season, it's like whenever I see him, I'm like, oh, they're gonna throw some shit in our face.
Are you
Um,
ready? I'm gonna eat a fudgicle on screen.
uh,
It's about to go
one trip.
hard.
Well, yo, I hope you're ready to talk while eating that because it's time for
Of
you to
course.
talk about Adam Leave. Let's hear what you got to say. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Kind of not just the dad. I know you agree with the dad. You commented on that. Adam Eve, what do you think?
Adam Eve, I think here's my thing with Adam Eve. I think Adam Eve, it definitely is like the side plot right now. Like it's not like the main focus or anything like that. I think I agree with you. I think the big arc of her season this season is going to be going back to the Guardians, right? Like that's
Hmm.
obviously like where it's leading because she's like, I want to help people, but then like like the dad's like, oh, you're not helping people, you're an idiot, and she's like, I'll show you, idiot. So I think what she'll do is go back to the Guardians because she's like, fuck this, I can't just
Yeah.
like sit here and do nothing. And I think the worse it gets with Omni Man and all that shit, the more she's gonna get involved. But
Hmm.
in terms of like Adam Eve as a whole, I don't know. Adam Eve was really important last season. So I think the only reason they're kind of scaling her back is because Mark needs to like figure his shit out. So they're like
Fair.
kind of separating them, I think.
Yeah, I still think like her going, yeah, yeah. I'm making some fun edits while I edit this one, but I think her going back to the Guardians is the natural next step for her. I just think they should have done it last season. I think it should have been like final episode of last season material, not like dragging into this season. They're just dragging her stuff out. Um, so what do you think is gonna go on with Omni-Man? I think but so small scale. I think that this next episode is gonna start off with like a great fight where like Mark just sees him and they just go at it and like Omni-Man's like not bad, like he sees how much like he's improved fighting, like some like weird stuff like that. Um, and then where it goes from there, I, I I'm not too sure. I wonder why Omni-Man brought him out to space. Like the last time he saw him, he like literally damn near killed the kid, and he just I don't. He's gotta have something really interesting up his sleeve. If like a month and a half after doing all of that, he brings him. He reintroduces himself into his life. He's got to have like something up his sleeve. What do you think?
I think it's gonna go like this. You ready? I think the reason why I brought him out there is because Mark can't get back. He doesn't know his way back flying, right? Like he was literally
Mhm.
asleep that whole ride. So I
Right.
think that's part of it, right? Because Cecil can't interfere. Nobody can interfere. You know what I mean? It's
Didn't think
just
about that.
him
Yeah.
and Mark, right? So that's the first thing. He's isolated him. But I think the other thing is he's going to be like, Mark, Mark, um, I'm sorry, bro, but welcome to the
He's not
Viltrum
gonna
Empire.
apologize.
And he's going to be like, bro, I know what I did was kind of whack, but forgive me.
I don't think he's gonna apologize. That's not in his character.
No, he's not going to apologize, but he's going to be like, I regret that things went the way they did, type of deal, you know. And
Yeah.
he's
Okay.
going to
Okay.
be like, but we need to go explode Earth now. You know what I mean? Like, he's such an asshole. And his whole
Yeah.
thing is, but that's the thing. He's not really a silver tongue. Like, he's not super persuasive. Like, he lied for all that time, but like the second he got caught, he could not weasel his way out of it, right? Like, he could not, he was so bad at lying, like especially like the demon sucker. Like he just tried to scare the shit out of him rather than like,
Mm.
oh well, you know, don't tell them that I did the bad thing. You know what I mean?
I wonder if we're gonna see the demon sucker again. Like
I
he's
really think
he
we're gonna see the demon sucker again because it's
he
been too long.
yeah, I was about to say he disappeared with the next episode is episode 4. He disappeared at episode 4 of season 1. And he was like a big character in the first half of that season. And then
Oh yeah.
obviously they sent him back to hell. I don't think that's killing him. I wouldn't call that killing him because he's
No,
literally
not at
from
all.
hell. They just sent the guy home.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be back. I'm curious in what aspect because nothing on Earth right now is really a mystery, like a
No.
who done it kind of thing, like it was before. Like the biggest mystery is like the Donald thing, but no one on Earth really like Cecil's the one that hired the guy, and
Yeah.
Cecil might be the only person who knows what's going on with Donald. So he's not going to come back for Donald. He might come back when they kind of figure out like that there's a multiverse going on if Cecil doesn't already know.
Hmm.
But I feel like it's got to be Cecil that brings him back, and it's got to be something that he doesn't know about. And obviously, he knows what's going on with Donald. He's trying to cover something up. Dude,
Yeah.
I am so interested to see what's going on with Donald because I really don't give a shit about Donald. Honestly, I think he looks like a filber, but like it's just like something's up with Cecil, and I want him. Cecil is an interesting character to me. He has a lot more control than it might seem.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So we haven't seen the demon, and we haven't seen the Taylor either. I don't think.
Oh, that's right.
Um,
Yeah. Played
yep.
by Mark Hamill.
He's a cool character. Um, I'll tell you what I do like from this season is that they're bringing back some of the character designs from the Guardians of the Globe. Because when the Guardians first got killed, I was like, the reason why I was most shocked is they spent a lot of time on the character designs, clearly, especially for the fish guy. And I was like,
Yeah.
I can't believe they just kind of wasted that. But they ended up bringing back the fish community, which was interesting. I don't think it's something they necessarily needed to do because they could have just wrote off the Guardians and been like, fuck them. Like, we're taking this
Yeah.
a whole different direction and it's blowing everyone's minds. But I definitely like that they're bringing some of them back, like, but not like in a cheap, stupid way. It's like some guy trying to impersonate the Batman guy. The fish want vengeance for their leader, stuff like that. That like just kind of was unspoken or unwritten in the first season that Mark has to deal with now that Omni Man has been outed and is just gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Any other predictions, things you want to cover? I feel like we covered a lot, but like there's so much that happened in
There's a
this.
lot. There's a
Yeah,
lot.
there's got to be more, right? That we haven't discussed. What is there anything that you can think of?
I think the big thing is the multiverse guy. I think I feel forgetting his thing is just crazy to me because it's the fact that he has all the knowledge of all these other dimensions and shit, right? And now he's
Mm,
going to like other like invincibles and see or other dimensions that beat Invincible and Omni-Man, and he's figuring out
mm.
how they did that. So I can only wonder if like he basically accidentally brings Mark the way to take down Omni-Man, basically.
Mm. Yeah, so that episode, I haven't seen. I saw it like 3 weeks ago when it first came out, so I'm
Yeah.
definitely not as caught up with that as you. So that's what he was doing. He was trying to find how Invincible beat Omni Man or something like that. What was his goal in coming into the
Okay.
universe?
So the guy's goal, right, basically, was he had all of his hymns, right? So like because he's the only one that could have made portals and stuff like that, like through dimensions, but all the other
Mhm.
ones had the knowledge of their own universe and what happened, right? So in some universes there's like a cure to cancer. In some universes there's like a solution to world hunger, right? So he was
Mm.
going to take all the knowledge from all his other hymns and
Oh
put it
yeah.
all into his mind so he could basically go through each universe and fix it, right? He was going to
Nice.
fix all the
So he's a
problems.
good guy.
Yeah, he was a good guy. But the problem is like when he took off that helmet or whatever, it completely
Hmm.
fucked his brain up. So now he's
Yeah.
like, oh, I want to, like, now he can feel everything that all the other guys felt, and they're all angry and invincible and
Right.
Omni Man. So the problem with him is now he's going to other dimensions, figuring out how they beat Invincible and Omni Man, and he's gonna
Mm.
try to take out the Invincible in the universe that we watch, basically. So it's
Okay.
like he's like basically like trying to sabotage everything. He's lost it.
Interesting. Yeah, that's. I mean, so what was he doing with he just was using the Mahler twins because he knows that they knew technology.
Yeah, yeah. And the Mauler twins basically like made that machine originally because they used it
Okay,
for
so
the Immortal, I think.
no, they used that machine for Rex to
Robot.
make for
Yeah,
weird ass robot. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's right.
Um. So yeah, I guess with that being said, that first episode was more so about um multiverse guy
Yeah,
than the Mahler twins. So maybe see now I would say maybe they were just like using the Mahler twins for that technology bit, and like that's kind of why they haven't been in it since. But like, or at least the remaining one. But like, I
yeah,
feel like if that was the case, they would have just knowing this show, they would have just killed him. Like if they're like,
yeah,
we have
yeah,
no plans for this character. Um, so
yeah.
that
There's
just
still
tells
a
me that
Mauler
there,
twin left.
yeah, exactly. That just tells me that there is something important that's going to happen with the Mahler twin, or maybe they just kept that Mahler. Maybe they don't have plans for him, but they're keeping him around because like they're the tech wizards and like you could always just throw in a tech wizard that like, like it can do some crazy shit. It's like, hey, we want to make some crazy shit in this series happen. Who can make that happen? Oh, how about genius over here, right? So that could be
My
another
guess,
reason they kept one alive.
my guess, my thinking is that when the big bad of the season does roll up and goes after Mark, Mark's going to be like, why is he after me? And the Mauler twins
Hmm.
going to be like, you totally fucked up his plan. He was going to like save all the planets and shit. And you, like,
Oh,
he's
because
going
he
to
knows,
explain to
right?
Mark what happened. That's my
I
guess.
could
I don't know though.
I could definitely like see the Mauler twin, the remaining one, pull like a 180 and not really like be a good guy, but help
Yeah.
Mark for his own like good. Like I feel like the Mauler twins aren't like bad guys, right? Like I mean, you watch the first episode of the
They're
whole
bad
series, you're
guys,
like,
but
what the heck?
they're definitely like for themselves, but I think they just get like
Hmm.
pulled into a bunch of shit because they're
They're
just
yeah,
like smart.
they're like neutral guys. Whatever side has like the best deal that's gonna get them richer, make them more powerful, they're gonna take that deal. So
Yeah, yeah,
I feel like the good guys, Cecil, Mark, all those guys, they're gonna get in a position where they can help the Mauler twins, and or at least the remaining one. I keep saying the twins because I think of the pair, but they're gonna be able to help the Mauler guy, and the Mauler guy is gonna help them. I think that'll be an interesting dynamic to see the Mauler side by side with some of the good guys, especially Invincible. But I feel like he'd fall more in line with like working with the new Guardians. But who
yeah.
knows? Who knows? I like I said, I definitely like him probably because he's voiced by Principal Lewis, like I said. But like I do like the Mauler twin for sure.
You want to know what's really crazy about this season too? Like, I to do with the show and more of like how they marketed it. That's genius. But
Mm.
in Omni Man in Mortal Kombat, like his dialogue lines, he'll say, "Why'd you take me out of this timeline?" Which is amazing because that means that
Oh
canonically, like he's just a different dimension Omni Man, which I love that. Like there's been so many little things they've been doing that are so cool about
yeah,
like the dimension
yeah.
thing's so good. I love that.
Yet somehow it's if that's true and it's canon, somehow he can still get his ass kicked by Jackie Briggs.
It's like, it's just one of those things like, oh man, I don't know. Omni Man is just such a good character. Oh, it's
My
just
guy shoved another Viltrumite through a bus and killed 1 million people, but he dies to Jackie Briggs.
oh man.
So stupid. Um, yeah, I'm curious if so. This is another thing I'm curious about. I'm curious because this is always a big question. Is is the multiverse going to be more important for people coming into their universe or them going to other universes? That's always like an interesting concept, where it's like they're going to use the multiverse, obviously, 'cause that's why it's there. But what are they going to
Yeah.
use it for? Are they going to use it to bring people in or like take our characters and put them in another universe? I feel like time travel and multiverses are like where like series though can really
Mhm.
just get stupid. So I'm a little worried about the multiverse just because of that. Like when like COD Zombies introduced it, it was just like when when end or I'm sorry, when the Avengers introduced it, that's when I started to lose interest, all that stuff. I mean, there's a right and a wrong way to do it, and I feel like there's more
Yeah.
wrong ways to do it. I personally trust it in the hands of Invincible just because Invincible is such a stellar show, but
Yeah.
I'd rather not have to worry about it. So I'm a little
Yeah.
concerned with the multiverse, as interesting as it is, and how like we're talking about it like it's very interesting because it is. But
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't have my concerns about it.
My thing is they've laid everything out pretty straight. Like, because a lot of the time when multiverse stuff is fucky is when they don't really explain it at all. But they've already kind of
Mm,
explained like most of the multiverses, like things went this way, right? It's not like a mix where like, oh yeah, like some universes Mark's like fucking like 200 feet tall and like he, you know what I mean? It's never like that. They're
yeah.
just saying in most of these cases, Omni-Man and Invincible take over, right? So they kind of
Mhm.
like they already kind of give you like an idea, but they aren't really doing that much fuckery with like who's coming in and out yet either.
Yeah,
So
no,
I
I
think,
that's why I don't take that much stock into it not being confusing because like they're really like dipping their toes in the water first, which is great. I love that they're doing
yeah,
that,
yeah,
but that doesn't mean that it's not going to get a little fucky when it's time to jump in, you know?
yeah, yeah. But I don't see them doing that for the long term though. If anything, I'm also almost wondering if like Invincible is gonna train for the fight by going to other universes and like fighting
Mm.
their Omni-Mans. But I don't know though. But I have thought that's kind of like what I thought was originally going to be the thing. Like, oh, maybe he's gonna like use the other multiverses as like a, oh, this is how I should take him out when it's like time. But I don't know.
I'm concerned that they're gonna do the mortal sin with the multiverse and just use it to bring back dead characters. Like,
Yeah,
if they use it to bring back like Donald, right? Like, okay, like cool. You just brought back Donald. Like, I don't really give a shit. Like, interesting. But like if they use it to bring back like the Guardians of the Globe, no, like you killed them. Like I'm sorry. See, that's what I don't like about the multiverse is like now there's the ability to bring back all these dead characters, and like I just hope they don't exercise that, right? Because it's like it takes out a lot of stakes. It takes out a lot of stakes if you bring a multiverse into a universe because the character might not necessarily be dead. They could kill off Invincible and just bring him back from another universe, you know? Like they could do anything they want in terms of
yeah,
like stuff like that. So I'm a little concerned they're gonna do the mortal sin, which is like bring using the multiverse to bring back important dead characters. It doesn't really matter if they, like I said, if they bring back like some random ass sucker like Donald, but like if they start bringing back like important people, like even Alan the like if they give him like a
yeah,
tragic ass death like that just for him to come back in the multiverse, I as much as I like Alan the alien, I'm gonna be pretty disappointed that that's the route they chose to go with it. Like
yeah,
Glenn under a damn dumpster.
yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. But that being said, I think the one thing that makes it different is that the multiverse, obvious. Well, I mean, this is kind of with all multiverses. They don't share the same memories, right? And if most of
Mhm.
the multiverses have Mark and Omni Man like winning, then that basically means that like none of them are really going to be the same people. They're not going to really like, you know what I mean? They're all going to be pissed at them. So I feel like they
Yeah,
won't be brought back in the same way. Because that's the thing, right? With I think the superhero you're talking about was Darkwing, right? And I was like,
yeah,
wait, why is Darkwing back? But it was just like his like it was basically his Robin, like it was his sidekick,
mhm,
like going as him. But
yeah, facts.
I think I think that's really interesting. Like I because that's what I've kind of wondered too. Like, did any of these guys have sidekicks or anything? I think it's cool that they kind of introduced the idea that like, oh yeah, some people might show up dressed up as the superheroes from the past, but they might not actually
Mhm.
be them. That's really cool too. But
Yeah,
yeah,
like I feel like something that they could do, and I wouldn't be shocked if they do this, is like use the multiverse, like they'll kill off like Amber. Like they kill off Amber and then bring
mhm.
her back from another universe. And in that universe, Mark finds out that like they weren't together or something, so he has to like reintroduce falling in love. And
Yeah,
that's just not something that I'd exactly be interested in, like killing someone off to bring them back via the multiverse. It's like
yeah,
it's it's overdone and it shouldn't have been done in the first place. Like I like the rules where it's like you're dead, you know? And
yeah, yeah,
that's why if it's a minor character, I don't really care. But being able to bring a character back from death takes out the risk and stalks of death. It
yeah,
really
yeah,
does. And and obviously we're talking like TV shows. I feel like a dick when I'm like, yeah, I like it when people just die. But like I mean, I just don't like them bringing back people. I want there to be real consequences to these characters dying, and I think the immortal coming back, I'm not too bothered by it because they did just only bring back one of the Guardians, but they could have brought them all back. I'm still not a big fan of it, but like whatever. Um, Donald, we'll see. I'm more so interested by that than mad at
Yeah.
it at the moment, and I think it'll stay like that. But obviously, depending on how they decide to go about why he's fucking there. But other than that, like, I really hope the consequences of death are permanent in this series because I just find it so interesting that in the very first episode they just went like, bam, we're killing all these people off, and only one of them is returned. I love that. I hope none, as much
Yeah.
as the characters might be cool, I hope none of them return. Even Red Rush, I hope none of them return. I love what that did for the universe.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing, right? My thinking too is like, I don't think Cecil knows about the multiverse. And my only reason is because one, they blew up that teleporter or whatever thing that they were all doing, like the synchronization thing. And
Mhm.
the other thing is like, I feel like we would have already seen the Guardians brought back.
Fair, yeah,
I
yeah.
think
I
they would
guess
already be
fair
back.
because yeah, he could have done because if imagine Cecil knew about the multiverse and he brought Donald and
Yeah,
not
that's
the
what I mean. Like,
Guardians of the Globe.
why wouldn't you get like a good Omni Man or something, right? Or like, why, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot that doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't do that. So I
So
think they don't know.
that's a good explanation. So we can, with that being said, I think we can definitely rule out that's how Donald's back, the multiverse. So I guess it just sits on the fact that I think they cloned him. I
Yeah.
I'm not sure how. I feel like maybe they got their hands on the Mauler's technology. I mean, obviously Robot knows about the Mauler's technology, and Robot and Cecil are kind of boys, so that wouldn't be the furthest fetched thing.
Yeah.
But then again, don't you need part of the original to clone and
Yeah.
Donald friggin' exploded?
Well, that's the thing too, right? This wouldn't if it is multiverse, it wouldn't be the first time like they introduced something and then Cecil brought it back. Like they brought back like the zombie guys, like the
Mm,
cyborg zombie. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
They used that guy
that's right.
against or those guys against Omni Man. So it wouldn't be shocking if like, oh, they used the teleporter technology. Or well, actually no, because he just even then they couldn't because he just creates it with his hands. The guy just
Mm.
created it with his mind, the portals or whatever. So I don't even know if they could do that. But I don't know.
What's the best friend's name? Mark's best friend?
It's Will, I think.
Will. I'm curious if Will's boyfriend there is gonna end up being like a supervillain or some shit. They they didn't forget about him. They mentioned him in the
Yeah,
in the
they
most
did.
recent episode. They were like, it's like Cecil says he's coming along pretty well. Like, so obviously they're trying to like get him back to health, but I don't know. I don't see like a universe where they just kind of get him back to health and then everything's like normal. I see
No.
like they bring him back and he's do it in the wrong way or something gets effed up. I don't know. There's something that's gonna go on with the boyfriend, I think. I think that's a little less relevant than a lot of the other stuff we've been talking about. I feel like that's definitely second half of the season material. But definitely something that I'm gonna keep my eye on, and I'm glad I remembered it. So if it does come from out of nowhere, I can be like, hey, I we did kind of
Talk
cover it.
about it a
Like we
little
did
bit.
cover that base.
Yeah.
Like we said like 20 minutes ago, we're like, there's so much content on this show that like we're probably forgetting something
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
gonna end up being absolutely vital in the next episode.
I can't
Like
even
if
like think
if
of
Alan
anything else.
like yeah no like if in episode like let's say we did this for right after episode 2, right? We do you think we would have even spoken the words Alan the alien? No, we
No.
wouldn't have because he had nothing to do with the last bunch of episodes,
Yeah.
and then he ends up being one of the most pivotal characters in the next
Yeah.
one.
They literally did a
I,
whole episode.
yeah, I feel like though, I feel like this next episode's where it's gonna kick it up a gear. I
Yeah.
feel Omni Man's back. I feel like the last 3 episodes were like, all right, here's life after Omni Man. Like we need to establish like this is how Earth is, and now it's gonna be more like, all right, let's get into like the meat of this, which
Yeah.
I'm really excited for, and definitely excited we started doing this around this time because
Yes.
I
Yes.
really do think that next episode we just covered like like the setup for the season. I feel, and I
Yeah.
feel like now we're gonna get into the nitty and gritty of it.
Do you think
But
Omni-Man's gonna say, Mark, I'm evil? And then like just do a bunch of evil stuff? Like, do you think that's what
Mark, Mark, I need to tell you something. I killed the Guardians of the Globe. He doesn't figure. He doesn't think.
Surprise!
Mark, I'm a bad guy. Dude, you think like he invited Mark up to like whatever planet they're on, and Mark like starts beating him up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot what I did." It's like
Did I forget to mention I'm evil?
I forgot that I totally was evil.
Sorry for
Jesus.
the whole train thing.
Train thing.
Uh,
Literally using Mark's body to plow through a train and kill like 500 people.
it's so horrible.
Sorry. But yeah,
My
if you can't
bad,
think
bro.
if, if you can't think of anything else, then I think that about does it. This'll I think this will probably be our longest podcast on an episode of Invincible just because we just covered more than one.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I said, I'm definitely expecting some crazy shit the next episode or two. So who knows?
Hell
Um,
yeah.
yeah, do you have anything to add before we wrap this up?
I think I'm all good. I think I got it.
All right. Hopefully we didn't forget anything major, which we probably did, but
Yeah, we definitely did.
yeah, there's
There's so
there's some
much
like
stuff.
I feel like we talked about I don't remember like anything from episode two, so we definitely
Yeah.
forgot some episode two shit. I'm just glad I got out of the way that robot in Monster Girl fucking is really really gross. Uh, I really needed to establish that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna try to do this weekly. I know my friend here is a busy man. I'll certainly try to make the time because I think I feel like me and Mike, we've covered a lot of or covered a few albums. We've covered a lot of sports. I feel like we need to get into like video games, television, and this would be a good weekly series to kind of get into that
Mm.
as it's one of the only shows that I'm watching as it's coming out these days. Most of the shows I watch are kind of old. But yeah, that
Can't
is
wait for
that.
Invincible season 7.
Dude, damn straight. Damn straight. We waiting on it. We sitting on it. But yeah, talk to you guys later.